Hey guys, today we're going to be finishing up on the door actuator replacement for my daughter's 2018 Kona or Hyundai Kona. I did a lot of research on this to try to figure out how to troubleshoot and figure out which one, what the problem was with this particular door lock. Apparently it's a pretty common problem with the Konas, and not an expert at this, but just thought I'd share what my research led me to as far as getting this repair done. There's two different links that I'll share with you, and I'll attach them, I'll link them to this video. One of them is replacing or removing and putting the door panel back on to the door. And then the other one is removing and replacing the door handle itself, the exterior door handle, which you'll need to do with this door actuator replacement. All right, guys, once you guys get the door panel on, there is this plastic. It's got like a kind of a adhesive type substance on the back here to keep the plastic on, but you can peel it, just peel it off of there so that you can get access to this open space right here, and then we'll start working on the inside there. All right, what I found was going to be the easiest thing to do is if you come around here, you'll be able to see that there is this rail right here. The other link that I'll attach doesn't talk about giving yourself some space to be able to remove this lock actuator from in here, but I found that this actually can be easily removed. This rail that I'm referring to here, you'll see, got my laser pointer on it, so we're going to just take that out right now. It's two 10mm nuts right here that actually just come right off, and then you can pull that right on out of there. So we'll go ahead and do that at this time, and you'll see when I get this off of here, it's just essentially an extension of the upper rail for the window to go up and down. And you don't even have to necessarily remove the nut from that bolt up there at the top all the way. This one you will have to remove in that fashion. And then you just kind of get this out all the way, and then this actually you can just slide up and there like that. Okay, there you go. That piece goes in there like that. Just want to kind of make sure you keep track of where everything goes. The nut that we didn't remove goes back into that hole. Are you ready? All right, so one of the videos that I link is going to reference this. It's the one about removing the door handle. But since I have both hands free, as my son's doing the videoing for me, I'll just kind of explain the one door handle. There's this film right here on the door, so you can access a screw to remove it. You just pop it out from the inside there, and then on the inside you'll be able to see. Let me get a flashlight on it. Oh, actually, he's got a pretty good view of it right there. So that particular screw right there, you see there's a nut on that. You can use a socket. Either use a socket. I'm going to use the Phillips head screwdriver to access that and loosen that up. You can see that there's little tiny tabs that hold that screw in, so you'll be able to back it all the way out. And then over here on this side, there's also another screw very similar, just like that one. Actually on this side right here, just like that one, that you'll remove as well. But you'll remove the one on the right side first, and then remove part of the handle on the outside of the door, and then come back and remove this one after we get the full handle assembly removed on the outside of the door. I should point out also that one of the things that was dangled in here was this adapter right here. It just clips into the new actuator. I had to order a new actuator in, so I just left everything, the door panel disassembled. Left the door panel disassembled, and this was just kind of dangling in there. But you'll see when we go to put the new door lock actuator back in, that it just plugs right into the port right here. So all right, so we'll get that disassembled here, or the screw removed here. And then here on this side, there's some torque screws that you'll need to remove here. So I'm going to grab the appropriate size Torx head. I'll let you know what that is here in just a second when I get back with the right Torx head. I'm back. All right, guys, I'm back. It actually turns out to be the T30 Torx head that's required to remove these guys here. So go ahead and do that now. All right. All right, guys, so once you get that screw removed on the inside of the door, you'll just pull out on the handle right here and then kind of wiggle this piece out here of the door handle. It'll come right off. You can see where the screw goes in on the other side of the door. And then from there, you'll just slide this part of the handle off like this and just kind of keep track of the orientation of the handle there. I like to just set it right here and in the same order that I'm going to put it back in on. And you'll notice two seals on here also. All right, guys, so on this seal, I kind of give you an idea of how I found was the easiest way to remove it. Just kind of pry it up with your finger here on this one side and then put some pressure on this side of the seal here on this side. And then that'll allow you to release it. Because as you can see from the bottom, there's a little tab that tucks into the bottom side of the metal of the door. And then you can see on the front side here, there's a tab that sticks in underneath here. Looks like that part may have broken off at some point, but we were able to get that on there just fine because there's a tab on the bottom side here as well that holds it underneath on this side of the door as well. So you have that same thing going on with this tab here on the back side of the door as well. So just carefully remove that, set it aside. All right, all right, so now guys, now that we've got plenty of room in here because we removed that channel that the window comes up and down in, and we've removed all of the screws here, the door handle on the outside, we're just gonna finish removing this one screw that we looked at a little bit earlier, and that's gonna be the only thing that's gonna be holding this entire assembly in. And so you can see that it kind of slid out there. So now it's just a matter of removing it from the door cavity, like so. Pulling it through the plastic, like so. All right, and I'll be back here in just a second once I get the new assembly. All right, guys, I'm gonna give you guys a screenshot of the door part number here. This is the OEM part. I ordered it on eBay, and it looks like at some point it was an OEM part, but it's the 81420J9100. All right, guys, so here's the replacement part. As you can see, as I compare it to the old part, you can see that it all looks the same. And so I'm just gonna work on switching it over now to the components that came out of the door. And so you can see on the back side here, you got these metal rods that attach everything up. You kind of see how it sits on the other the original part, and it just kind of clips into this piece right here. And so there's this piece here that goes into this part that goes behind the door handle assembly, and it's in there. These tabs here on the inside, if you can get a good shot of that, but they do have some like retainer tabs on them, so I may have to get some. Actually, it just came right out, but you can kind of see how they're angled right there. So may have to get some needle nose pliers. I think that's what I did originally to get this out of here the first time I did, and just press them together in order to be able to remove it. And then over here on this side, and it's always a good idea to take pictures of stuff as you're disassembling it too, especially if you don't have confidence that you're going to remember where everything goes. And then on this side here, this tab here just comes off of there and then comes out of there. So just going to do that same thing with the new assembly. And out of here, since I've got it all laid out here, go back in there, flip that down, clip that onto there, and then same thing here, just pressing back straight back into there. Okay, got all those pieces together, and we're going to go back into the door at this point. So let me see, get you some better lighting here. Okay, so once again, we're going back in here. We're going to try to lever this piece back into the door there, and just at least start those screws back there in the back. So it kind of gives us a hand just holding those pieces in. Like so. And we're also running, at the same time, we're also running the screws in for the Torx head screws here on this side. All these things were being held in on these 3 different sides of the door. Just lightly in there, just to kind of hold it in place while you line up the other screws as well. All right, so one of the things that I should have mentioned earlier is when you're putting this in also, there's a little tab right here on the door, and you're just gonna wanna make sure, right there at the tip of my pinky, you're just gonna wanna make sure that that slides like over the door here on this side as you're getting that part screwed back in. All right, guys, so this is what it should look like just before you reinstall the handle. This clips on the outside here. This screw doesn't go all the way in just yet, not until you put that back side of the handle back in again. And then you also, this side the screw does get run all the way in here on this side. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just put these into place as well, these seals. So I'm just gonna go ahead and clip these in. Okay, down here, just a little bit of a snap, and this one here as well. Less so of a snap there on that side, and then the handle itself, you can remember you kind of tipped it in like this, and then the handle's just a little bit offset to begin with. And then you're just gonna push back on the handle like that, sets it in place, light down, put the handle, lift the handle up, screw it down before I scratch anything, set that piece back in, and now lower the handle back in. All right, guys, so now we're ready to run this screw back in here on this side of the door handle. So that's what I'm doing now. Good and snug. Close that seal back up. You can run these hex screws. Once again, this is a T30. These hex screws are spec'd out here. All right, guys, now we're putting back in that rail that we took out. This one here, just tucking it back here in the door. And then the side that has the nut still attached to it, I'm gonna slide it back up here. Place, and then also line this bottom one back in, this bottom bolt back in here. I'm gonna have my son kind of give you a view of where that goes to. You can come around this way here and show where that rail goes in relative to the lock actuator. There we go. All right. And now we're just gonna get these reattached. Pause. All right, guys, and I'm gonna snug this one up here at the top, but I think what I'm gonna do is just kind of leave it still a little bit loose, so that when I roll the window down all the way, I'll try to just kind of get it snugged up. And so that way I don't have it binding up the first time I go to use it after we get the panel put most of the way put back on. But we can go ahead and clip this this harness attachment there, adapter back in here on this side. Come all the way around so you can see. Okay, so this attaches to that. And then you can hear that click. Good to go. All right, now it's time to start putting the panel back together. By the way, let me see here. This here, I reattached this when I was waiting for the part to come in, but that's easily just snapped off of there. All right, off.
All right, guys, so just gonna put the cables back into place there, hang the plastic back up, still in a position to where we can still peel this back, tighten these nuts back up again. But we're also gonna go ahead and start getting it assembled back to the point where we can start testing out the lock and whatnot. So on the door panel, you'll see this in that link as well, but you can get a close-up shot of that from up top. This piece right here just clips into the back part of this door handle assembly for the interior, and then you'll see this clip right here. You just need to snap it down all the way, and then here's the harness for the window switch, and it goes in like this here, and give you some different views. It only goes in one way, but you'll also hear a click there as well. All right, and then before I get too far, I'm gonna have my son hang on to the panel itself while I go turn the accessory power on and just check to make sure the window can go all the way down, and we'll test out the locks and whatnot before we get too far into replacing it. Pause. All right, guys, so all I did was just lower the window just slowly, just to make sure that it slides down into the track okay. I lowered it most of the way down. At this point, I'm going to reattach. You can't actually test the door lock, apparently, until the door is actually closed. So we'll need to reattach the panel in order to do that. So now we're going to go ahead and just tighten up this nut right here. Let's see here. Go ahead and show this part. Okay, and then the door trim piece here. Snap that back in. And we are ready to test the actual door lock. All right, guys, moment of truth. Gonna check to make sure that the door lock actuator is working, and you can see that it is in fact working there. See, we got it locked right now. I'm gonna have my son just check the outside door handle to make sure that it is actually locked. There you go, and it is working. Pause. All right, guys, I'm going to try to go through this really quickly, but this is the reason why this door lock actuator was not working. And there was one video that I came across. I'll link it here as well, because you might have some success with it. But that person actually went through a complete disassembly of this door actuator unit, and had some good thoughts to share as far as being able to replace this little motor on the inside of this thing. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case for me. I'm just gonna break this one open because it's completely defective. But you'll see in here, he actually removed this motor with this spindle on it, but the case with his was that it was stripped out in here, and he was able to fix it with some super glue. But you can kind of see with mine, or my daughter's, there were teeth missing in this little spindle, so it wasn't catching on to anything. So unfortunately, it wasn't an option for me to repair this particular motor or replace the motor itself and spare myself the expense of the door lock actuator. So just a heads up on that.
Through the silence of the morning, the sky is pale and endless above me.